So, yeah, I remember I had this roommate in college, my first roommate, and we would like...
I like the story starts, you go, yeah, this roommate in college, he was always fucking kids.
He was fucking children. No, he was weird, dude. I remember, like, you know when you first meet someone, you're just like, oh, he's from, like a different place. He was from Missouri. He's from a small town in Missouri, so...
Like the Ozarks or something.
Kind of, yeah. So I just remember the first kind of time I felt something was strange, was, like, off when he talked to me, was, like... Because in high school, it was weird if a senior dated a freshman.
Yes.
It was bizarre.
I've never understood that.
Yeah, very weird. So
you can be an 18 as a senior.
Yeah.
So you're
but
an
even
adult,
like a
right?
17-year-old dating a 14-year-old
Isn't it illegal
is bizarre.
to be dating a 14-year-old?
There's like
at
Romeo
18?
and Juliet laws and shit.
There
It's
is?
bizarre.
There's Romeo and Juliet
Yeah,
laws?
it's like if you're like 18 and your girlfriend's like 16, they'll like let it go. It's like it's ridiculous. Anyways, this guy, I remember the first thing he told me, he was like, man, like I miss my girlfriend, like all this shit. And he's like 19 at this point. And I was like, oh yeah, where is she? And he's like, oh, she's back in high school. And I was like, oh, is she like a senior? And he was like, nah, man, she's like 14. And I was like, what? That's crazy.
This is your roommate?
Is this the first thing he said to you?
One of the first things that ticked me where I was like, this guy's odd.
You don't...
That's a little red flag.
That was a red flag.
That's how.
Yeah.
That's usually how I open.
Your
when
14-year-old girlfriend.
When I meet new people,
And
I go, nice to meet you, brother. I got a 14-year-old girlfriend.
But then he started wearing banana hammocks all over the place.
What is a banana
It's like a male thong. And he looked like Hank Hill, dude. He did not have like if he was ripped and jacked, I'd be like, okay.
Oh, you'd be like, oh, I get it. You'd be like,
You know what I mean though? Like if you were ripped and jacked,
he
and you
looked
could,
like a pedophile.
Still be quite weird, I think.
he wore a thong.
If he was hot, you're
He wore a
saying
male
you'd
thong.
let it
Like
go
there's
if
a
he was
certain
hot.
level of hotness you have to be. If you had a shredded body, I'd be like, all right, like I would wear a fucking thong.
You know, the great thing about this podcast is we learn something new every day about everybody on it.
Yeah, you know. But
So
anyways.
John would be okay with it if the kid was like, he's jacked.
Yeah, and one morning it was actually really funny. Me and my ex-girlfriend, we like.
You tried helping him work out so you would be okay with his pedophilia.
I was like, yeah. So one day, like, he would jump down from his bed in his thong, and half the time he'd eat.
Were you like roommates with Zoolander?
Crazy, it's nuts. And half the time he would eat shit. He would just like slip and like his ass. He would like do like ass plants, and there was a bunch of like
Getting out of bed?
Yeah, it was crazy. I would be
The
stifling
clumsy-
laughter.
It's the clumsy pedophile.
Clumsy pedophile.
He's
I would-
stepping into rakes.
Dude, so on this day, there happened to be like a bunch of 8x11 white sheets of paper on the ground, like homework and shit. And like he jumped out of the bed, ate shit, like his ass planted on the paper, and then he got up and walked away, and there was like a shit streak on the
He's like a human snail.
Yeah, and I brought everybody in the dorm to go look at it. I was like, Harry, come in, look at Clay's shit.
And then you guys followed it to a kindergarten.
Yeah. So one night I'm in the fucking computer lab, and I had this buddy that like called. He was from the south side of Chicago. I went to school in Illinois, and it was a very weird school. And like half the kids were from hillbilly Kentucky, the other half were from like the hood in Chicago. And this guy calls me. He's like, "Hey, yo, like, don't go to your room. There's like cops up there." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to my room. There's cops up there." So I walk up to the room, and I see one uniformed police officer, and then one guy who's wearing a cardigan. And he was like, he just looked like very like buttoned up, like dad in the suburbs. And I'm like, I just ignore them completely. And I open up the door, and the guy with the cardigan's like, is this blah, blah, blah's room? And I was like, oh, thank God they're not looking for me, because I swear to God, dude, I thought I would be got for downloading music illegally. Because that was a thing back then.
That was like they were trying to scare you about that.
I thought I was gonna be one of those, because that was, remember that
One of
lady?
the few. There was always they arrest
Yes.
like 3 people like every 10 years
Yes.
for like
They
LimeWire.
Make an example.
Yes.
Like, throw the book at
Exactly,
one
because
person.
LimeWire was still a thing back
Like,
then.
it
and I
looks
was
like John Knopf downloaded "Make It Rain" by Fat Joe in 2007.
Soldier Boy's coming after
Looks-
John.
Crank that, Soldier Boy. You'll be cranking your asshole wide open in prison, boy.
I'll be like getting your dick cranked, and it's I was like, fuck, dude. And then he was this blah blah's room, and I was like, oh, thank God it's not me. So I'm like, yeah, come on in. I let him in.
You go, let's steal music together.
Yeah, exactly. But he comes in, he goes, my name's Detective blah 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 from with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Special Agent blah 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 with the Federal Bureau of Investigation out of St. Louis, Missouri, because that was the closest major city.
Dude, more like female body inspector.
Yeah, female
Every one of those
bikini
mugs,
inspector.
dude, a shirt
Talking
like
about,
that. That is
brother.
the pinnacle of comedy, dude.
But then the FBI agent started making fun of me.
You could do this with your hair. The guy that likes female body inspector shirts, he's like, female. It's supposed to be the FBI, but it's female body inspector, brother.
the guy started like making fun of my weight. The fucking FBI agent. Yeah, I remember like we had these like tall bunk beds, and like I was like a real big fatso back then. He's like, "You got any trouble getting up in there?"
Oh Jesus!
I was like,
really?
"What, dude? Like that's crazy."
Did you say, do you have any trouble?
Not shooting dogs?
Yeah, do you have any guilt about killing Martin Luther King Jr.?
No, I remember like I was like is when's my room he was like, "Can you call your roommate and have him come back to the room?" And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Is he gonna be okay?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'll be fine." And I was like, "Okay." Roommate comes back in, FBI agent tells me to leave. I go outside, I'm like chain smoking cigarettes. My other roommate, we have a suite mate, we shared a bathroom with two other dudes. That dude was like, "I'm gonna pretend to take a dump and I'm gonna listen in." And this guy sits down, listens to their conversation, comes out pale as a ghost. He's like, "Bro, he's downloading CP."
Jesus.
He's fucking been downloading CP. He heard the roommate, he heard the agent be like, "Hey, so what keywords would you look up?" And he heard my roommate go, "Kitty porn." And he got caught on LimeWire.
Wait, what? What?
He was searching and downloading like FBI honeypots on LimeWire. So the FBI put out these fake files.
Where it just says kitty porn.
Yeah, he put out fake files and he got it.
Jesus.
Well, he's from Missouri.
This is the worst pedophile of all time.
Yeah, like an absolute dunce.
Dude had a fucking mental breakdown after that.
Oh,
he started getting naked. He started shitting in his hand and like spreading it on my shower curtain.
What?
I started treating him like shit. I would like use his like fucking towels.
You stayed roommates
Wait,
with him?
wait.
No, I
After
immediately
he smeared
switched.
shit on the shower
So
curtain?
here's the thing, dude.
This is the John is the weirdo. in
John's
this.
like, I got 9 more months. It's fine.
No, dude, I fucking switched roommates. I got sent. I was like, I contacted the dean. I was like, dude, this guy's gonna shoot up the fucking school because they didn't like. They raided his dad's house.
What was the first time like when you came back and he was doing acting very strange? And
I was like 19, so I didn't really know what to do. I was like, this guy's having a mental breakdown.
Did it gradually build up?
Well,
like,
he started
when did
talking in his sleep. He started saying things like, I remember I woke up in the middle of the night and he was like tossing and turning. And he was like, "Oh, it won't be that bad in a cell. Won't be that bad in a cell."
Are you
I'm
serious?
dead serious, dude. And then he started getting really religious. His parents stopped talking to him. He would only talk to his grandmother. And then everybody in the dorm knew what he was arrested for, but nobody would confront him about it. And he was like having a mental breakdown because they didn't
How do you
arrest
not
him.
get expelled?
Yeah,
That's what I was fucking
What is
asking
with
the
this
fucking student
school?
body because they didn't make an arrest. They took his computer. That's the only reason I know they don't like arrest guys like that. Because I think the sad truth is if they arrested everyone who downloaded shit like that, the prison would be full.
Oh god.
It's gotta be like hundreds of thousands of people.
Are you sure that they didn't take the computer to investigate and then they charged them later?
I think they charge you and then they just put you on a form of probation. I don't think they actually have you
you
do
get
prison
sentenced,
time.
and
There's no way the school didn't expel him. That's so.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
weirdest
that's
fucking
the
thing.
other thing is like I was like there was an FBI agent in my fucking room and the school wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's like a policy where they can't expel
Innocent till
until
proven.
you're proven guilty
Yeah.
because they could get sued. I bet they had like a wrongful whatever wrongful expelling.
Don't FBI investigations, they're circumventing the local department. So the local department could arrest him that day, but the FBI's
Oh, the local police department there was dog shit, dude.
the FBI is conducting an investigation, so like they take more time or something.
I don't know.
I think when it comes to taking a computer and like forensics on technology, you have there's like some due diligence there. I think like even a local sheriff or whatever would still need an investigation like that.
Well, the guy went all the way from St. Louis. It's like a 3-hour drive to go get this kid. You know what I mean? That's the other
Oh
thing.
shit! Okay, that's where the FBI
it's
office
like a
is.
3-4 hour drive. So I remember anyways, I immediately switched dorms. The people let me switch dorms, and the new guy they put me in with was a fucking hoarder. So I show up in this guy's dorm, it reeked of shit. There's just like Dr. Pepper cans everywhere.
What fucking college was this?
He went
Southern
to college
Illinois
in
University,
worthless
Carbondale.
Southern Illinois.
It's literally the worst fucking college on earth. It was powered by a coal plant.
Yeah.
It would run out of power
There's
like every
so many
30 minutes.
cool colleges right here.
Well, the only one that would take me because I had a 1.8 GPA. It was
shit.
this dog shit.
You forget
college.
that John had a
I was retarded.
he was legally retarded.
John
when he
has
got into
somehow
college.
fooled me into thinking he's intelligent.
No, I'm dumb as fuck.
He's an idiot.
Yeah. So and then like I remember
Joey, make no mistake, our friend John's an idiot. He's an idiot.
But I just remember I would stay in this guy's dorm and like and then this other guy in my dorm threatened to cut a girl's head off. That was also in my dorm. And it was we had like multiple school shooter situations.
So a typical college experience. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
And then I couldn't. I kept having panic attacks because like everything was going wrong, and I remember like I would wake up at like there was another guy because I got sent to the agricultural major dorms, and like so it was a bunch of farm boy sons and shit. And the only other guy, there was another guy who would also have panic attacks late at night, but he was an Iraq veteran.
Oh,
So
God.
he had been hit by an
Jesus.
RPG. So half his body is like pockmarked with like burns and
Holy
scars.
fuck.
And
And
we
we
were-
the Bad News Bears. What college?
So I'd be up, me and him would be up at like 3 a.m. in the little communal lounge, just like drinking coffee at 3 a.m. and he would just tell me like war stories, and then he'd be like, "Yeah, I got hit with an RPG." And
I
just,
had no idea John
Yeah.
went to college with the Adams family.
oh, it's crazy. It was honestly very fun.